fans.
That was a great game.
You start from this side of the couch. I've seen how this works.
You said my name, actually.
You start from this side of the couch.
I was going to say Jacobs, but then I saw Perch sitting here, so you gave up your spot?
That was a bullshit game. PL late game. Bullshit. Just let NA have one goddamn tournament.
It's all part of the big script, Jenkins. It's going to be a great comeback from Shopify Rebellion, as stated on the board. You know, Shopify uninstall 3-1.
Wait, do I have the power to change the chalkboard?
To be fair, though, I mean, Shopify played a really good early game.
Yeah.
I mean, they were completely dominant, and if it weren't for the strong PL win condition, I feel like Spirit's comeback into the game would have been a lot more difficult. So now, I feel like Spirit are a bit on the reactionary foot now, where they have to deal with the potential Ench and the potential Beastmaster.
I think they might ban Enchantress in this pick and ban phase, as I like to call it, during the Dream League, because we are using the band after all.
Pick and ban phase?
Yeah.
With that in mind, is there any particular request you want for this pick and ban phase?
I want to spice it up, you know, some Eye of the Tiger.
I was talking without obviously being a
remix.
When we say Eye of the Tiger, we mean the letter I of the Tiger. It has nothing to do with the other song.
Yeah.
Just a coincidence.
Because the Eye of the Tiger is the second letter in the word tiger, and
that's exactly right. So it's about the letter.
I do think Shopify as a whole played better than Team Spirit for that game. I agree with what Effie said. The strong win condition made it really tough. Maybe their lack of disables, it was harder for them to initiate. And that was one of the things they lacked, having Enchantress and Shadow Demon, but they had a really good shot.
I wouldn't say that they played better than Spirit. They just played incredibly well, right? But Spirit played their draft as well as they could too. So I don't think there were any flaws in Spirit's gameplay that game. It was just that their draft was exploitable in that laning phase to 20-minute phase.
Shopify throughout the whole Dream League, they had extremely good first 10-15 minutes of the game. There were maybe like 1-2 games that they lost the laning stage, but other than that, they've been pretty flawless. I think it comes down to Fly, who had pretty amazing tournaments so far, and so did Crit. We already mentioned the other day how Crit feels really good in this patch because some of his heroes are really popular right now, and he plays heroes that feel good right now. You know, it's not a position 4 Klings that scales with damage. I think that was the biggest nerf that ever happened to Crit, but he's feeling himself with these Tusks, with these Dark Willows, these swaps. I think he had the best performance on Vengeful Spirit throughout the whole tournament.
Yeah, he's been playing very well. He has like huge assist numbers consistently every single game. He's definitely been one of the big figures that's keeping them in these wins.
I will also say in the previous game we saw first phase Invoker coming out. Abed absolutely smashed it with that as well, considering overall first phase, you know, there's Team Spirit had the counter pick, didn't end up, well, obviously worked out in a win, but I feel like Invoker still did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
That's also something to keep in mind. Obviously, Invoker banned out now, though.
Yeah, his control of the PL to defend his supports and fights is amazing. Tornado one time, Deathly Blast. He did great.
Is this it? Is Centaur becoming the hero of this series?
BSJ was right, ladies and gentlemen. He was saying this hero was OP. The moment the patch dropped, he said, you go Blade Mail, you get a heart. He was actually right for the first time in Dota 2 history.
5 seconds remaining.
Back to you, Effie.
Sorry, I just had to take a moment to appreciate the genius of BSJ, even when he's not here. But I do find it, I think while Centaur is a really great hero, when he comes up this early in the draft, he can get bullied on lane, right? It opens up things like Monkey King, potentially even from Team Spirit. And now that they've taken the Enchantress for themselves, they know that they stole away the hero that set the tempo in the first game for Shopify, so they don't have to worry about it. But now they have a way to enable the potential Centaur killing hero.
Did we forget about PA and Gyrocopter? Previous game, they're both first phase banned. This time, nobody cares. The cost?
Yeah, we already mentioned that this Phantom Assassin kind of became the hero of the tournament, because how many comebacks did we see? You're like 20, 30k gold down, doesn't matter. PA gets axed.
Every game.
This hero is just glitched. Like you don't see her with the blur, and you can't see her. She refreshes with Axe, she kills you during that time, and then she's invisible again. You cannot target her. So far, Team Spirit did not play against Phantom Assassin. I don't know if Shopify wants to go that route, but they gave respect to Arteezy's Muerta.
But we have seen people deal with the PA by just blitzing towers early. and Enchantress is very good at doing this. Not that it matters, because PA just got banned.
I think it was cool to see Shopify use the Faceless Void as well, because that's one of the abusable things about the hero. She has a very low cooldown spammable spells that gets her around. If you just hit her with Time Dilation, a simple basic ability, if she doesn't pop BKB, she's actually just not doing as much. So I think that was another cool solution to it too.
I think also the Centaur gave them a little bit of leeway of, okay, maybe we'll allow these heroes to potentially come through. I mean, they take out the PA because it's really not worth dealing with, but Centaur lanes quite well versus Gyro, where other offlaners may struggle. He's got a lot of HP that he naturally builds into Vanguard, and he can sustain better than most heroes can. So maybe they feel like if they don't give Gyro a winning lane, they can play off of it here. But I know that Yatoro hates Gyro. I know that he does, but I feel like if it's still in the pool.
He said he disliked the Bloodseeker also, and that series he did play it, so he will play whatever.
But he last picks his stuff, and it was like a perfect Bloodseeker game.
That's true.
That's the Yatoro classic.
But do you think Shopify is going to play it?
Gyro?
Yeah, I mean they've got the option.
They're thinking about it.
Ancient Apparition is still in the pool. Spirit could still run the Ench as a 4. Same thing goes for the other side. If Shopify wants to pick the AA against the Gyro, I feel like a Gyro will come out.
I would prefer
later picks.
the Vengeful Spirit route. If you want to go with that, we've seen so many times Gyro against this Vengeful Spirit where he gets aggressively swapped in and just bursted by heavy magical damage, rest of the team unable to back him up.
Ooh, that is a crit special.
The thing about the Gyro, if it had come out here, was yes, the Ancient Apparition is still in the pool, and Team Spirit can play the Enchant 4, so it would have been a very strong flex. But because Team Spirit have that first pick, they have the overall 18 to close, and they could do something very much a nuisance to Shopify's draft. They could have gone for some really high mobility hero for Laurel on that 18 pick, or potentially even the Beastmaster, and we've seen how strong that is. So I think that just securing a strong support here for Shopify, not putting themselves in a position to have their Gyro countered right now, is the easier approach to take, and that's the one that they did do. And now you've got the Sharpshooter burst damage versus Enchantress, right?
Plus break, yeah. This is going to be the killer lane for Shopify. These two heroes paired up together, they feel super strong. And this time around, it's going to be Shadow Demon into Centaur. In the previous one, it was the other way around because you wanted to have something to run away from this Shadow Demon. But
did you see his win rate? It was 9 and 20 on
yeah, it's like 39, 38%.
That's really bad.
I think these are wrong numbers in terms of like they don't show the whole picture of how strong Shadow Demon is, because he's a strong laner. He really scales well. We've seen in the previous one. And also in terms of stacking, like if Shadow Demon has good positioning in a team fight, he can easily pop off some of these targets like post BKB. You stack those shadow poisons and they just die.
The upside, though, is that of taking the Shadow Demon here is that there's great setup so far in Shopify's lineup. So they're already ready to go to like stun and kill a guy. So if Shadow Demon can break that combo and allow somebody to press a BKB, that can swing a fight.
Collapse Mars. You can't run away with the Stampede. Hoodwink doesn't like to play into this hero. You can easily find it. They need some low cooldown stuns coming out from the offlane because right now they don't have any.
And it's good against Gyro too.
This is what I wanted to mention. The second phase in the second pick team is always so difficult. Like, this is the hardest drafting position that any team can take, where you have to pick 2 picks here in preparation of whatever gotcha pick comes out to close out the phase from the other team. So they took the Terrorblade, which is basically saying, take the Gyro, we beg you. We beg you to, right? We have our idea of what is good against it, but it's still a good game for it. But now they have to prepare for the potential Laurel or Collapse hero coming out. So the support pick coming out of Shopify right now is very vital. And I don't necessarily think that Warlock could stop something like a Laurel Spirit hero coming out now.
Maybe they're just trying to solidify the lane. At least the Gyro Warlock lane is obviously a classic. So yeah, it is spooky not knowing what they're going to start off with in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mentioned this Mars. I think it's still a good pick. The other one is probably Legion Commander, Blade Mail. You can dispel these like early things that Warlock loves to do, use Fatal Bonds. But for now, they're going to pick Laurel's hero. I don't remember seeing Collapse playing offlane Kunkka, even though some of the teams did, especially Shopify. They did ran it 2 times on the offlane.
I mean,
a very successful hero this Dreamleague as well.
Yeah, I think so too. The damage mitigation that comes out from Kunkka with the boat gives you a lot by way of like Gyro's early game power when he shows up with 1 or 2 items and just doing this massive amounts of AoE damage. Kunkka's great against that. It's not that strong gotcha that I was scared would come out of Spirit here, but it's a stable enough hero where they don't have to extend a lot of bans in this phase to protect it, so that they can set up for collapse as a hero a little bit better.
And the rum's pretty cool against Fatal Bonds too, because it's delaying the damage that you take. That means the damage that you're going to be taking later might be once Fatal Bonds is worn off. So it kind of is decent against the Warlock in that sense too. The disables, they were definitely lacking that. Some nice catch. They can basically force Gyro to fight if they catch him, or catch somebody that's about to be stampeded away.
I agree with these bans from Shopify. I think that Team Spirit wants a tanky blade mail offlaner. The last time they played against Gyro and pretty much nullified it, they had Kunkka Mars, and they both went blade mail. He went mana boots blade mail Mars, which is obviously banned out, but I still really like the idea of Legion. This double blade mail against Gyro, you walk in, he shreds you, and then he shreds himself.
Could be LC, could be. Now that they banned Dazzle, I mean, it might be just for the matchup against Kunkka, but I could also see Axe popping off in this one.
The issue with LC and Axe is that they seem like the most obvious choices, but they just don't have the burst to combo with them early on. Like Enchantress and Shadow Demon aren't the type of supports to kill a hero in 2 seconds in a duel, and neither will Kunkka. But maybe LC is strong enough on lane where that's good enough, right? Maybe they don't even care if he wins these duels, he just needs to set up for them and win lane, or just do well potentially.
I like the LC because she rushes blade mail, whereas Axe doesn't. Axe will eventually get it, but I feel like at that like 15-minute mark is when you really want to start running in and like blade mailing the Gyro, the Hoodwink. Like all these heroes just have like ground targeted stuff you can walk into and then kill them on.
I don't even know if blade mails are going to be that effective against Shopify, because when we saw Hoodwink played the other day, I don't remember if it was them or not, they went Boomerang and Veil. Their amplifiers, Fatal Bonds is the same thing, so these blade mails are going to give less value than normal. They might be able to just blast through it.
Kraken Shell should dispel Fatal Bonds on lane that first line.
After like a lot of damage,
yeah, it's gonna be a ton of damage.
But
go ahead.
Okay, I like what Tidehunter gives you. It's not the blade mail we were talking about versus the Gyro, but it gives them the team fight that neither LC nor Axe would have given them. Because if they picked LC or Axe, they would have kind of pigeonholed themselves into the pick-off game. But now they have a more rounded out lineup, so I think they went this Tidehunter just to preserve their draft integrity, honestly. And I feel like that Tidehunter shard is pretty solid this game. I mean, Hoodwink and Warlock and Centaur should all struggle versus the Tidehunter shard, right?
You can slow through the Centaur ulti, right?
It beats, like, it's a really good shard.
For some reason, it slows through max move speed.
But how does it do versus the Warlock Gyro lane? Because that lane feels unstoppable.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't feel like the Fatal, like, if you're taking 400 damage to remove the Fatal Bonds with the Kraken Shell, that's already how much you're taking with the Fatal Bonds anyway, so.
I like this Earthshaker pick. It gives them really good kill potential in the mid and late game, mid versus the supports. They're not very good at stopping him from running at them, so if he gets out of control, it gives him some opportunities. And he's got to worry about X, I guess, but yeah, it should give them some nice burst damage, another way to set up fights and defend Gyro.
I like what Shopify drafted for themselves. I think they got the heroes that they wanted in this one, you know, going in with a different mentality compared to the previous game. And I feel like I'm going to give them slight advantage in this one. They also need to back me up as well, because I backed them up throughout the whole Dreamleague, you know, saying that they're going to win the whole thing. So they better step it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Shopify have draft advantage here because Gyro was given away, and Team Spirit did play a Shadow Demon versus Gyro on lane where they did kill Gyro a few times, so but they didn't have the rest of the solutions through their offlaner that they usually do, which is the Mars with the blade mail that would come in.
I think they wanted Mars, to be honest.
Yeah, that just does not exist for them, so I feel that the Gyro is quite unaddressed, honestly, and I don't think Spirit's lanes are strong enough to slow Gyro's timings.
Urge, any final words on this draft?
You are still an analyst.
I am? Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. I was trying to co-host. I do like Shopify's lineup better. They have tons of amplifiers. They have tons of damage sources. They have mixed damage. Yeah, I think the Tide has good potential to anchor, but yeah, I just like Shopify's draft better.
We're going to find out if this Gyro is as strong as everybody's been saying, or if Spirit is going to be proven right in saying Gyrocopter is a trash hero. That's what they said. We're going to find out, of course, but first, Pogchat Panas, take us into Game 2.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah! Bowie!
Straight to the bottom with you.
Game 2 time, ladies and gentlemen, here with Shopify Rebellion and Team Spirit. Folks, we heard from the panel, they like what Shopify Rebellion has got going on this time round. But indeed, as Shiva mentioned, we heard in a post-game interview from Yatoro that Gyro is a trash hero.
That's what he thinks. And I mean, he is playing as legendary Terrorblade, so we'll have to see what he's going to be able to do with that one. I do have to agree with the panel, but there's a Yatoro Terrorblade. I think that's literally the whole thing that switches for me. A Yatoro Terrorblade and a Miposhka Enchantress. I don't see these two lose on this hero combo. When they play these two together, I swear, they always dominate. So that's the one thing that I'm looking at for the side of Spirit that can have a ton of control. But if Shopify can get off to a good start, their draft looks incredibly strong.
Oh, they get some good damage onto Yatoro here. They won't quite be able to kill him, of course, but we'll hold the position around the bouncer rune. And one thing for sure about Shopify Rebellion's lineup is if we do get another 60-minute game or so, this is a draft that's going to be able to have a pretty good impact from all points of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Both sides, right? This is
definitely.
This is not a game where either team needs to run it down mid and end it in 25 minutes.
No, this should be, I mean, this is just this last game was super exciting, so it's going to be hard to beat down. But this one, for me, we should have more just straight-on team fights that go on with the way that Shopify's gone for their draft. It's just all about this fighting. And Abed, of course, playing this Earthshaker. The potential for wall ball combo is massive.
For sure.
They've got the Fatal Bonds with Gyro and Earthshaker, so.
I think one of those last picks that Shopify Rebellion and Abed in particular will be pretty happy with. Getting the Shaker mid as the last pick feels pretty good.
Yep, and let's see overall how Tidehunter does. We saw in the stats there, this hero is having a rough tournament, 2-10. So, Collapse, of course, as they were talking about on panel, a lot of heroes were banned away. Probably wanted to get his Mars in this position here, but he'll have to play the Tide, and we'll see what he's going to be able to get with it. This is a tough lane to play versus two. This Gyro plus Warlock, Fatal Bond plus Flak, just, you have to kind of hide. And that's exactly what Collapse did in the first wave. He actually did not play in the lane. He sat in the trees, so he didn't get hit by the Flak.
I mean, why is it that this hero has struggled as much as it has this tournament? And what do you think it was about this game that Collapse has sort of said, I don't care, I can make this work?
I think he was just down to very limited heroes, but as to what's been making it lose, I think teams are just getting really good at just playing and waiting, and then they just get BKBs, and then it's good luck getting a Ravage combo off or anything like that. That's at least what I've seen a lot of the times for these Tidehunters is everyone just gets a BKB at some point, even though it's not the most value item. For Tide, it is.
Now we'll see what he can do this game. Collapse.
And so far, he's been hiding, just playing around inside like trees, just trying to dodge any of these Flaks and Fatal Bond kind of combos. The Gyro should have pretty much free farm down here, though.
Denied.
Now looking over the other side of the map up top. I mean, one of those sort of safe lane duos, did you say, you know, Enchantress, I mean, reaching up to what, like a 70% win rate,
yeah.
Right? This hero been looking great, and in the hands of these, you know, Enchantress players that they've been playing this hero patch to patch, and I'm Miposhka, one of the classic Enchantress players. It just ends up looking fantastic in the laning phase. I mean, pretty much in all phases of the game, right? This support hero can really pop off.
It always happens too, where there's just a moment at like the 10-minute mark or something like that. There's like a Dark Troll summoner and he like solo takes a tower. I feel like it's been the case always for this Ench. Speaking of the Ench though, Miposhka, they try to get aggro, but they can't. So a very aggressive lane that Shopify tried to go for up top, but I feel like you just get the heal on the Enchantress and you stop a lot of that aggression. Mira? Fly does not have a blood grenade, right? Yeah, he does not, so Mira should be just fine.
And for Crip, bringing the Hoodwink out. Crip, one of the rare players that is willing to do that this patch. A lot of other teams just completely ignore this. Do you like sort of seeing Shopify bring this out for Crip, one of the heroes that he can kind of carry the game sometimes with the position for? It's a very aggressive support. Doesn't, of course, provide some of the saves that we've seen Crip pull off big plays last time and last game, with regards to kind of keeping Arteezy safe. But he could go full aggressive with this.
Nice play there, Fly. Yeah, he absolutely can. It's definitely a little bit of a weirder one compared to what we're used to seeing, but if Crit's comfortable on it, right? He's one of the few that's been playing that and the Tusk. We've been looking at these side lanes a decent amount. Looks like both carries not really getting pressured whatsoever.
No, not at all.
But the mid lane, that's the other one.
Yeah, as
gotta look at
expected.
the denies.
Abed on this mid shaker is definitely going to be able to take away a decent amount of XP from Lyle in this matchup.
Laurel is keeping him, keeping him low and steady. And the beauty about with the Kunkka is they do have a Shadow Demon with it. So they have potential to get these ganks and the Enchantress for early rotations. So do have some setups to perhaps get onto this Earthshaker anyway. So far, Collapse. Not too shabby, 12-1, a little bit behind Saberlight. Top Yatoro won't be able to distance himself.
How are they doing on regen up here? Yatoro still got a tango on top of the one he's already munching on.
I'm gonna have to keep looking up here.
Oh.
Yatoro!
Oh, they've got the burst. Same time in the mid, Lal was able to get the X mark dragged back onto Abed. But no follow-up, so Abed will manage to reset, TP back to base. Mira also heading over to see if he could find him, but he's already out of there. Indeed, able to burst the Terrorblade.
And they get a side pull off at the same time too, so they're actually going to deny quite a bit of creeps there.
What are we getting the XD for?
I didn't see what it
I'm sick and tired of these XDs in chat.
I looked
and now we're getting them in game.
I looked top for a second, I didn't see. Did he get a deny or something? I don't even know.
We might be able to. We'll get our crew on the replays.
Yeah,
we'll find what the XD was for.
I was looking top because I think we've seen that now like 3 or 4 times. It's like they get the TB low once and then they pop him once, but then they usually don't kill him another time inside that laning phase. They usually end up getting like raindrop, they get like strength treads, and then they're usually durable enough to survive. But a big kill, Saberlight, that's going to enable him to get that pretty much that Vanguard finished up anytime soon. And Miposhka looks like he is starting to look for some creeps to try to work around. Will find himself that Hellbear smash. Very strong one. And okay. So it looks like we see what the game plan's probably going to be from them in these next few moments around the power rune. Likely to make a dive play, maybe even with both supports to go for that.
Oh, we're getting an XD replay.
Was it?
Was it just for the upheaval just being off point?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is that worthy of an XD? I don't know. But apparently it would.
Laurel got the tree there. Crit trying to go for an angle.
Ooh, there you go.
And he tips him. He's like, nice try. Yeah, Laurel, he was ready with that Quelling Blade there. Stops the stun.
Same time, I mean, Fly's going to get chased down by Mirror. We'll manage to walk it off. They've still got eyes around the mid. Crit's got to be careful tanking these Tidebringers.
Catapult. Will die now after that. Crit will get the last hit there. But Laurel now enabled to be able to get this power rune. So he's going to have 6. He's going to have the power rune. They could look to set up again even onto Abed pretty soon.
Certainly. I mean, that Arcane Rune could help out, get a few extra rounds of the Tidebringers off in the aggressive plays when they set them up.
I mean, that's pretty huge. I think this is... I mean, it's an Earthshaker versus the Kunkka, and Laurel's playing it super well. Yeah, he got some help at least there, but he was handling his own versus Abed's Earthshaker this time around. Some really good stuff. And Mira, in the meantime, since the lane for Collapse actually has gone quite well, he's been able to just sit back and stack. So there's going to be some massive stacks for either the Tidehunter, actually for any of the 3 cores to work on if they'd like to go back to it.
Yeah, boy!
Pretty damn hot start here in the lanes for Team Spirit. As the panel said, and as for a long time for Shopify, they've been ones who usually win lane, but Abed...
Lala's going to be able to get the setup here. Get the drag back into the... Oh, do they have quite enough Fly TPing over?
Lara looking for an angle.
Can he get the angle? He can. Still not enough. Abed managed to walk this one off.
But all this is an Arcane Rune, and he's getting heavy damage onto the tower there. So the boat, it's going to be back up in almost 30 seconds. And Abed, he has to walk all the way back out there, or TP in 10 seconds. So the boat's pretty much almost going to be back up as soon as he does make his way back over there. Saberlight. Fine.
With the Metamorphosis up, only going to be able to tickle this.
Oh, but look at this.
With the Vanguard.
This is a cool rotation.
Oh, it certainly is. You don't expect the 7-minute Gyrocopter gank. In they go. Stun set up from Crit. They're able to bring down Yasoro.
And just can make his way back toward bottom right afterwards. A very clean rotation from Arteezy.
Dire's top tower needs
will be spotted. Ward being placed there from Mira.
Same as you, Time.
Still going. This mid lane, Miposhka, he keeps ducking in and out beyond the tower, seeing if he can set up on towards Abed. A lot of pressure being put on this mid shaker. They know that they need to shut Abed down.
And they really are so far. I mean, that's why we saw that ward play so early on. Mira steps a little far. Crit coming down. Can you get the connection?
Got enough damage. Crit chasing him down. A couple of body blocks and a couple of right clicks. The flat coming in.
He's got a fairy.
He's juking it out. He's got that fairy fire, but the flat cannon will be enough to take him out.
But they can't touch Collapse. And this Tide, this is, I think, the best lane that I've seen so far for the Tide in this tournament. 0-3-4 skill build. He's got the Meteor Hammer. He's going to just start throwing onto this tower. Really cool play so far from Team Spirit, though, to put that attention heavily onto mid. But 3-1 so far for Shopify. They're getting their good farm, but Abed is struggling this time. He's going to need some help.
I mean, Poshka's just being a complete nightmare around this area of the map. Not a chance for Abed to find anything. He can't step up to the lane in mid, can't back off, clear a camp. This Enchantress presence, they've got to do something about it. They need to provide some help for Abed.
And this is the Miposhka specialty. You see it so often in this tower. They're going to look for a kill onto Laurel.
Going to go lead straight in with the Echo Slam. Lyle, is he able to get the boat off? Get that run buff. He is.
He is.
Turns around,
now
the boat down on towards Abed. Lyle walking away. He'll get out of this. He's got the X mark off onto Abed. Drags him back once more. Oh,
he's alive.
Chris coming in just in time to hold back the two supports to make sure Abed's able to survive.
Oh my god, the raindrop saves him, and then he gets fed a Lotus right afterwards. I think he was fine anyway, but either way, the Lotus feed afterwards, just in case of anything. But Laurel, he'll be able to back up. He had a regen rune. He's going to just be able to quickly reset, farm up these stacks. Good aggressive move. In the meantime, Saberlight, I believe he finished off the top tower, and I think Yatoro, he finished off his Midas.
Definitely thought it was sort of the pressure that Spirit's putting on in the mid. As we saw Shopify, they've had to bring in the two supports around here to keep Abed safe and give him a chance against these players.
Look at Miposhka
He's going to walk past the two supports and threaten Abed.
Is he really going to get him? Abed's hiding.
Abed indeed keeping it out of the vision. He's going to step back in, go for another enchant totem, snap on him at Poshka.
Oh my god.
Abed might still die.
What
he does, but Poshka gets him.
What a beast!
I mean, poor old Abed. They've got the two supports here, but they can't keep him alive.
The Pine Cone.
The three of them against Enchantress and his Pine Cone, and they can't keep Abed safe. So much pressure from this Enchantress around this mid lane area.
These are rare. This is rare situation to see for Abed. When's the last time you saw him at the bottom of the cores like this?
I mean, they're just going all in on him.
They really are.
They know that they've got to shut Abed down. They shut Abed down, and they can hold the game in a great spot.
Abed is the biggest answer, I would say, for the Terrorblade, right? He is that big magic damage, that big control, so this definitely is working out really nicely. But in the meantime, Saberlight, he is getting a really good start because they're putting so much attention onto the Shaker. Should have good timing on his Blink Dagger. But he's done a different route of build to talk about afterwards. The Ghost is slowing Collapse. All right. I mean, maybe wouldn't have been able to get up to him anyway, but I mean, every little thing could matter. But yeah, Saberlight's gone a very different route. So last game we saw Collapse. He actually went for a lot of points in stats. I think because he was playing versus Quasquix Invoker to, you know, not have these mana problems versus this EMP and stuff like that. Saberlight's just maxed the Retaliate. So interesting stuff. Last game, the Retaliate is super useless when he's playing versus TA, so I can understand that.
Stampede in time. Just before I was able to get the grab, but in bottom lane, Abed moving around with the two supports. They're going to try and go for Collapse. They've got Arteezy here as well. They'll pop the Ravage.
Does he have backup?
I mean, Poshka's heading over. Surely he can't walk out of this one. Collapse. Maybe he can. He's still alive.
Are you kidding me?
He's able to target the Express. They have to drop the golem for him. They'll get him.
That's two
it takes a lot.
goals. Okay.
And only just getting him as well.
Yeah. Only Collapse almost actually able to walk away from that one there. Two big ults committed there, and even almost losing a hero. But trying to, I guess, trying to protect the area for Arteezy, which they will be able to do. Artur still top of that net worth. His timing on his Ags should be pretty damn good after the crit. Spirit looking to strike back. Is that the blade mail done on the Kunkka? It is.
Dire's bottom tower won't last long.
And they're hunting for Abed.
No purge yet online for Mira, but they know exactly where Abed is.
Opens up with the torrent into the boat. Trying to get that poison stacked up. TP's coming in. They have to keep Abed safe.
One more poison.
The disruption. What's sort of the fourth one? Get the final one. It's 5, and that's enough. Abed taking down Shopify, coming in with the mass TPs. See if they can punish Spirit in any shape or form. They're looking to Lyle.
The upheaval.
Lyle's not going to be able to catch them with the torrent, as he will get caught. The setup's there for Crit to land the sharp shot. They'll punish Lyle.
My God, they really just don't. They do not like Abed.
They're going in for Abed.
Does end up giving a pretty big kill. Who got the last hit? It was Crit. Trying to make space, I guess. Just trying to open up. Always there for Yatoro, but so far, game state. Even though Abed's struggling, Shopify's getting quite a lot here. Arteezy is very, very farmed, but there is a Yatoro who's getting all this free farm, and he does have that Midas, so we'll have to see how that matchup ends up going. This TB versus the Gyrocopter. Can they get on top of him? Can they answer Yatoro?
I mean, what's the stack situation here for Shopify? I haven't really, I guess we're sort of all the focus around mid. There's just not really been the chance for Crit and Fly to step away from the mid lane and get some stacks going for the most part.
No, I think it's been more. I think Mira's been getting just quite a lot more, just naturally as the Shadow Demon. Wisdom Rune soon, 20 seconds.
Shopify.
So Shopify's looking for a gank.
See if they can take down Collapse. They open it with a hook stomp. Again, super tanky on this side.
Nice Hurricane.
Average is going to be back up in 15 seconds, but he'll drop the slam here to take Miposhka out.
You killed me with a pine cone earlier on.
That is the Blink Dagger gold for Arbed secured.
Collapse. Should be able to get fly. Yeah, they've got the connection.
Of shadow.
And Shopify will take what they can get.
On board.
An Echo Slam from Miposhka, but as you said, the Blink is now finished, so he can make more plays. Saberlight, so with the Blink, so a very, very aggressive game that Shopify can start playing now with all these timings. Still waiting in the trees here.
They are. They must
see Mira.
Yeah, they do. Good setup. As Mira.
Nice try there with the
back one of them with his crush. He's actually got the ult to slow down Crit. Crit is looking for the sharp shot and he'll land it perfectly, but Yatoro and Collapse, they'll turn up to take Crit down.
Oh, and that's a dominating streak actually going for Yatoro. They will be able to find this Shadow Demon, but ends up giving a lot to this TB. Nice little Hurricane plays, and this is what, 2 or 3 times I've seen him use them to kind of bail his team.
They might have to settle for Mira. Doesn't look like they want to try and make the jump under the tier 2 for the support alone.
Really nice scouting from Mira. As soon as he sees them still lingering in the area, he's probably telling Yatoro too. He's like, be a little careful. Something's up. And in the meanwhile, to Collapse, he's actually just taking the tier 2 bottom. Him and Miposhka pretty much finished that one off.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So when they're not seeing reactions going down there, they're probably expecting that Shopify's playing around this area.
He's going to try and set up here onto Saberlight. Oh, away, but still the Stampede's there. Ravage will come in to cancel it. As they've got the slow, Saberlight should get left behind on this one. Actually, maybe if the uphill full slow, he's able to step back now. X-Mark's back up. As Lar will be able to drag him back once more.
The Blink! He's got it off.
They couldn't get any damage done in time. Saberlight actually able to get out of there despite being dragged back by the Blink Dagger, by the X-Mark. Get the Blink Dagger up.
And the fissures perfectly. The tidal wave again won't connect.
They all get out on Shopify.
That first tidal wave was really weird. I felt like it was gonna hit the center, but it didn't move him at all. That was strange. And yeah, everybody's able to get away. Spirit trying to mount themselves for some setup of kills, but can't find anything. That was strange. That tidal wave looked really weird.
Top tower is under attack.
TP's in on the top lane. They don't want to allow Collapse to get too much free damage onto the tower with a Meteor Hammer.
Yeah, Crit's in the area here, so he does have that break if they do see an opportunity. Crit also commits for the Shard, this Boomerang, so he's got the Veil plus the Boomerang, high spell amp.
Collapse. Sort of walking past the 3 of them. See if they can burst it. Gonna give it a go here with the Sharpshooter. Boomerang out, and with the cooldown, this should be a solid chance of taking him out. He's actually able to turn and get the gunshot off. In fact, he's keeping his distance.
He's walking away, and now Abed's in trouble.
Saberlight's trying to finish him, jumps in with the Blink Dagger, but can't quite close the gap. Collapse is able to walk off, and meanwhile on the other side of the map, Lala and Miposhka, they find Abed. They couldn't kill Collapse.
Miposhka is literally Abed's kryptonite, it seems like. Every time I see Miposhka, he's on top of Abed looking for these kills. Effort there made by Shopify to get some type of kill, but can't quite find a Collapse, just walks away. And Yatoro, as we see, he's laughing his way to the bank. He's feeling good.
Oh, yeah. The money's rolling in for the TV, but still same to be said for Arteezy on his gyro. Underneath the tier 2, Saberlight. Go for Mira. The hold back onto the gyro, but the Stampede forward. Still managed to finish him off. Arteezy getting the final touch. More gold, more glory here for the gyrocopter.
Radiant's bottom
it feels like it has to stay ahead.
They really want to kill Collapse.
Collapse?
See if they can do it this time round.
He got the tower.
It's a decent echo here with the opening. Fisher off the mark, but it doesn't matter. The break's there. The damage is done. They'll kill Collapse, but indeed, the tower lost to 17 minutes in.
I mean, Abed's trying to get anything he can out of these Echo Slams because he's just getting hunted so often. We'll at least get that. But yeah, a tower to fall. And Yatoro just continues to get freedom. But as you said, yeah, Gyro still.
И драма появляется у Enchantress. Да, и БКВ будет делать реально гиры. Тут Манта, Скади, БКВ. Ну хорошо, ты сюда с таким артефактом что поделать.
Идя опять нападение, снова Стаберлайн. Возвращает его под корабль. Неплохо пробивать. Куда?
Это чтобы импедус
Ой, импедус, это next level play!
Нормально, прошу прощения. Виноват. Виноват, не разобрался еще.
Team Spirit counterpart has collapsed. They can, Team Spirit, they can kill the Centaur.
Can we get some damage numbers when we get a chance to? Because I feel like Miposhka's been doing an insane amount of DPS.
He's been everywhere.
This one. Look, he's just throwing impetus, killing heroes. So pretty wild from him. We'll get them in a moment. Growth Po. So talking about Miposhka, his scaling, absolutely there. We did see, Fly got a crazy amount of farm that last game, but it was in a position where he's versus like this PL versus Earth, but it was hard for him to actually use it. This is definitely a game where I feel like Enchantress can stand his ground. He's going to be doing a lot with these impetus. Could even see him killing any of these cores.
Just chilling out, waiting for his TP to come off cooldown.
Radiant's top tower is on the rocks. Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Okay, lead now though for Spirit. Manta online, Yatoro, ulti orb also finished up. And he does have the saves. That is the important thing, like you mentioned. This time around, Arteezy, he doesn't have crit. On the side of Spirit, there's always going to be the Shadow Demon to protect, and the Rum.
Talking about crit. Could be in a spot of bother here. The combo hits, dragged back by the tidal wave.
These two are killers. Menaces.
They've just really managed to get sort of that mid-present snowballing in their favor this game, Team Spirit, with how much focus they put on in this area very early on with their two supports, joining forces with Lal, making sure that they just have this edge.
And they're being a little bit split up about everything too, right? Yatoro's playing one side, Collapse is playing another. There's not really opportunities for them to get a 4-man Golem, a 4-man Fatal Bond, a big Echo Slam. It just hasn't been there because Spirit's not giving that opportunity for Shopify. They're farming well, but Spirit's just farming that much better and slowing down Abed over and over and over again.
DD room for Yatoro. He'll be passed over the bottle and they'll have that ready for the next fight. He wants to get involved now. He feels strong.
They could even look to set up for this next Roche for the first Roche, that is, pretty soon. Fly.
They want to settle for Fly. No, they want to go for more.
They want a big target.
They can sneak around the Warlock. They might catch Arteezy.
Oh my goodness. They see him for a second there, Laurel.
He's going to want to chase up to the high ground for this one. They've got the vision. And Yatoro, he's waiting for him on the high ground. The BKB is there. So Arteezy is going to attempt to stand his ground. They're going to look to break the down. They're able to do it with the sharpshooter.
Nice kick.
A Shopify. They'll punish this play from Team Spirit. Take out Yatoro. And maybe be able to find even more. Abed comes in with a jump. Takes Miposhka down. 2 dead. The Ravage is there from Collapse. He'll set up for them to finish Saberlight. But it's only 1 kill in return for losing 2 their own.
Laurel.
Carried back onto crit, but he's very, very low. Same to be said for Arteezy.
Another catch.
He's able to kite out the anchor smash, so he won't have his damage reduced for now. But
oh, he's stuck in the spot.
All right, he's stuck in the spot. He still managed to get the Fisher off over towards Collapse.
But Laurel gets away. The disruption. Beautiful save from Mira.
Yeah, and just a little short there on the Blink Echo attempt from Abed. Collapse. They can still get him. Yes, they can. Damage is done once again. Another sharpshooter from crit lands perfectly.
Abed, he's getting poison stacked. Bet he'll be able to get himself.
I'm in a good turn there. The BKB from Arteezy.
Perfect timing.
Coming in hot on that one.
That plus crit, just getting the stun. They get the connection with Saberlight on top of Yatoro. They've 100-0 him. Great counter gank. This time, Spirit gives them the opportunity to use their ults. That's exactly kind of what Shopify needed. Maybe a little bit of bait play. Good positioning there from the supports. But Laurel does get away. And a good save there from Mira at the end of it all.
Yeah, Yatoro feeling strong with the DD.
Did it just get delivered on the courier? I think it did, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
I don't think he had it much before.
Maybe they didn't see it as he walked up.
And just too much burst for the TB to deal with right now. The Who Stomp into the shot from crit. Very nice start to the fight there, despite Spirit being the ones that entered into it.
And Laurel is, or Yatoro, somebody was saying, please cancel this upheaval there, because Laurel is just stuck. So Collapse has to use that Ravage to be able to do so. And it does actually end up saving Laurel here, so. Disruption there from Mira, kind of perfectly timed.
And as we see Abed trying to get in onto Lal. Couldn't quite make it there.
I can't believe that spot still exists.
A strong showing there from Shopify in that performance.
A perfect timing.
Last fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they kind of like removed the spot, but it's still there. It's still there to catch these pros. Collapse.
Now they probably do have the tools to be able to tackle this Tide Hunter.
Break. And there's the damage.
Easily done. They can look for the kills now, Shopify. They're feeling strong.
Playing around Artur, just keeping him protected. And we're seeing the build. Oh, the build that we used to see from the Hoodwinks. Okay, nice. He's going to go for that big burst build and even one-shot these supports if they're not prepared for it.
Yeah. Skadi's done on Yatoro, but yeah, he's going to be feeling that that BKB needs to come out for him. And he won't be messing around. BKB queued up next.
Do they try for this Roche setup here?
I mean,
they're going to look for a fight.
It is a bit risky to go into the pit because Golem's up, Echo's up.
Lara was pinging it. Oh, they're going to appear right on top of Crit. Can Crit get himself away?
They've got the X-Mark. RT's just going to consider fighting to try and help out here on this
He's
one.
purged up.
He might have a BKB TP. Golem's going to get dropped. He's going to try and stand his ground. He's got Stabilite backing him up. In with a Hoost up on towards Yatoro. And Lali's just running at RTZ. The X-Mark's there. They'll be able to drag him back once more. Fly from the side, counting the uphill on the impetus, damn it. It's 2 by Krator. RTZ falls. Collapse leads him with the gush over to Stabilite. Arbet, he'll opt for the TP out. He's actually going to stick around. I think he cancelled his own TP on this one. With the Fisher, I mean, he's fine. He's got the Ag, so we'll be able to keep his distance. But not able to stick around and turn the fight, that's for sure. As Team Spirit take the advantage there. This time round, sort of Shopify's attempt to turn, coming in a bit too piece by piece.
And it's just always a scary position there when you're a gyrocopter and there's the Shadow Demon. It's the anti-carry for a reason. He just holds him in place. See, the support's even getting a decent chunk of damage with Impetus, but more than that, just Yatoro's able to freely rain onto him.
He's done for collapse. And with the pace things are going, Yatoro likely to have that BKB for the next team fight.
Yeah, Arteezy has to be a little bit more careful of how he wants to lead the charge inside of these. When he is just fully isolated versus 3 heroes just being able to control and wail on him. That was the Ags reveal, I believe, also there from the Kunkka. I don't know if the Torrent Storm is really connected on too many heroes, but either way, the control at the end of it was able to finish off Arteezy. He did use the BKB again, right? So 2 usages now, down to 7 seconds for Artur.
Very close to his butterfly.
That'll be a big timing. Because Yatoro, as you said, he's going for that BKB next, so that evasion definitely could come into play. Fly. He will get caught. Feels like Spirit, I mean, they have everything up, and they also don't feel as cooldown reliant as it feels like for Shopify. It feels like Shopify does need the Golem or the Echo Slam in most instances to take these fights. And that's a big stack, actually. Yatoro's starting to work on a Triple H stack.
With that in the tower, probably will be very close to the BKB being complete.
Yep, pretty much does have it finished up.
Just got
not an easy hero to kill anymore, this Terrorblade. Not only the BKB, but just the backup, right, with regards to the run. Potential saves from Mira.
He's so
and of course the pipe from Collapse.
Yeah, he's 3,300 HP, or 34 when he's on Strength Treads, and then he's got the saves. As we mentioned, Arteezy does not have those saves, and they didn't itemize either for it. I was kind of checking around. Both supports, they're building completely for themselves on Shopify this time.
They really are.
No Solar Crest, no Force Staff, so that's...
Hell yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that one.
My kind of support here. Midas Ags on Fly. E-Blade Rush on Crit.
I don't know how I feel about the... I mean, no Solar Crest on the Warlock. I mean, Solar Crest Warlock feels like... I feel like I've seen it every single game, but they want to build for themselves, and let's see if that ends up working out.
Everyone wants to be a carry here on Shopify.
Yeah. Even Saberlight, right? He's building a heart. Yep. Literally everybody's building for their own game.
Nothing.
Good luck, Artur. We ain't Force Staffing you. They're like, you're going to be Shadow Demon purged anyway. It's not going to do anything. Maybe that's... Honestly, that's maybe what they are thinking. So, Abed.
They want to kind of split the...
Oh my... Abed.
Dire's middle tower is drowned.
Can he get himself away out of this? I don't think so.
Yeah, he's not jumping out of this one. They've got the Stampede.
Impetus. See you later. Oh boy, that's a big catch.
I mean, it is. And of course, the space was there. They've got the Aegis on Yatoro. Level 20 coming up soon. When that Metamorphosis is up again in a couple of minutes, that push from Team Spirit could come in pretty hard.
Yeah, and he's level 20 now also. Arteezy is still matching, of course, with the timings there, but the TB, that strength growing with how he's enabled from his buddies. Defiant Shell also picked up, and yeah, 20 talent's gotten, so Conjure Image duration. This talent is just too damn good. Miposhka, Hurricane Pike's done so. They do have Drum, they have Hurricane Pike, they have Auras, they have buff ups. More and more ways to enable this Yatoro TB.
How close are Shopify's supports to their items? We're
pretty close.
100 gold off the E-Blade, 500 gold off the Ags.
I'm unsure. The E-Blade is the one that I'm a little bit I don't know how I feel about this.
You would have liked to see a force.
I mean, the thing is, like, the dispel is going to be happening and stuff like that. Maybe Crit doesn't, he's not sure what else to do, because this is like the old school kind of natural build-up, but we'll have to see if it ends up working, because they're very tanky, and yeah, it's going to maybe get dispelled off also, too, so, yeah, I wasn't sure about it, but I could never really complain about an Ags Warlock, you know.
Hey, top. He's on his own. Should be fine. BKB and TP is there.
He's getting anchored up. He's going to have to perhaps use it.
I think he might.
And if he doesn't use it too soon...
I mean, he is completely on his own.
He's not using it. And now he's surrounded. And even if he uses it, he might just die. Let's see.
He should be fine with the TP. I don't think they don't have the damage. He's fine. Oh, nice.
Oh my god, no, it's going to bring him back.
Oh, it is.
It's got him.
It's going to last long enough that he can pull him back after the BKB.
Oops, he's going to say, oh, he forgot. He's like, oh man, I thought he was just gonna BKB TP way sooner.
He pushed the limits there.
Maybe didn't expect Laura to be in range there but pushing the limits, Arteezy gets punished.
Radiant's top tower is on the rocks.
See once again. No. Back in the old days, this wouldn't have done it.
Welcome
nowadays,
to new Dota.
That exit's on you, BKB or not, and it comes to an end. The exit is still there. You're coming straight back.
I'm sure he's sitting there and he's like, oh no.
Bottom tower is about to flounder.
Tower is under attack.
Well, it happens to the best of them.
Tower has fallen.
As now timing, Yatoro just continues to be massive, and he's got meta back up.
He's ready to go for the base.
Yep.
30 minutes in, they're in a sweet spot right now here, Team Spirit.
All right, let's see if the Axe Golems are going to make the difference.
And this is what they built for themselves. Sometimes your Gyro carries out of the game. You've got to do a bit of carrying yourself here on the support. Fair. And they've got the items for it.
We'll get the Demonic Cleanse back up. See a whole reset. They forced heroes back to base. They're happy with that. They still have the meta at the ready for the fight. They have Ravage. Ooh, they're actually perhaps going to continue here. Illusion Rune up in top. How's Laurel's progression gone? He's got his BKB now, so.
Oh, yeah, out they come, Shopify.
It's just difficult for them to 100-0 most of these heroes. They're so damn tanky on the side of Spirit.
I don't think they can burst Yatoro. There's just too many ways to save them, too many ways to keep him alive.
And they need to find Mira. He's got a blink and they will find him.
Oh, nice.
There's disruption in time.
We get the blink.
I'll get him.
Pretty good catch. The important ones.
Bounty.
That's a Heart Centaur, by the way. It doesn't
pretty much
matter.
Losing more than a half his HP there to Miposhka's impetuses.
They're looking to try to keep going because 30 seconds on Mira, but Yatoro's running in.
He's just picked up a still break. He's going to catch them by surprise. Sneaks him, closes the gap. Audibles Arteezy. It's going to be popped. Yatoro standing his ground, trying to take down the
X again on Artur.
They're going to take the Golem, and indeed the X dragging back Arteezy. Arteezy's going to get E-bladed here by Crit in an attempt to save him, providing some sort of safety from the right clicks alone, but they cannot keep him alive.
This is just the Yatoro specialty. He loves Silver Edge right on top of Arteezy, and
You don't have a sign.
Well, you know.
I've always wished, like, I wonder what he'd say. He's like, don't tip me, you fool. I won't try. Want to play again, though. Arteezy, he can't stand his ground. Everything gets popped there. They're tanky. They're just way too tanky on
Spirit. There's on Yatoro as well. He's sneaking around the map.
Oh, will he find Abed?
He's going to be able to enchant Totem out.
Should be the jump.
He's okay. He's all good. He's out, but again,
fight's getting harder and harder.
Arteezy dead again. They just don't have the ways to protect the Gyro, right? Nope. Arteezy gets caught in the front. I mean, sure, in that situation, caught a little bit by surprise by that recent Silver Edge pickup on Yatoro, but still, it's seeming hard for him to stay alive against this just an immense amount of damage that Yatoro is dealing right now.
Yeah, no way to bail him out at all. And also, I think that Yatoro, he dodged the initial first stun of the Golem that came out.
Right,
I think he did. I think he got hit by the secondary one because it does do that two little stun things. But either way, it's like these little things all do add up. And Arteezy, his BKB's gone down so low at this point now where every single time he is just getting X'd, he's getting dragged back, he's getting hit by so much connection. And the tankiness of these heroes means that he's going to be able to get these anchor smashes and stuff, reduce the damage, etc. So, yeah, so far, game plan for Spirit, it's been working perfectly. Even though Arteezy's been keeping this farm up, the fights just haven't been going in their favor.
Damage just
it's not there.
Isn't being done by the Gyro at the moment. Arteezy, it almost feels like they've got to slow things down, allow him to get the Satanic, and then at least the Daedalus.
He needs the Daedalus.
Lucky find.
But Yeah, or even the Silver Edge, whatever, whichever one. He needs some type of bigger damage for him, because right now it does feel, unless Abed lands a massive Echo Slam with Fatal Bond, they're not going to be killing most of these cores.
He's level 18, so chances for big echoes are there.
Spirit leading the charge. Laurel, a shield rune, even tankier now.
Spirit. See how much they want to push for. They don't have the Aegis, a minute and a half until Roche eventually's back up.
See, Crit, he's pinging. He's a Shadow Demon. Gotta watch out for this SD. Mira, they did find him at the start of that fight, but then it ended up not mattering just because of the positioning there from Yatoro getting the jump. It's always going to be hard to find Mira with the blink, the lens, his headband.
Easy. We'll have the Satanic finish for the next one. Still the damage, which is likely to be an issue when it comes to taking down Team Spirit's incredibly tanky lineup.
Even the Shiva's Guard now on Collapse on top of the Ram, on top of everything. And Saberlight.
The Ogre Steel Totem.
He is anchored up, though.
And DD's on the ground, ready for them. And Collapse, he'll grab that. Shiva's Guard popped. They're standing around the Saberlight Centaur. Is there going to be any sort of assistance from there? Is Saberlight's gone in an instant. And now it's easy. He's got to run. He has got BKB and Satanic if he wants to try and turn. The Ravage is going to catch him. Collapse turns with the gun. Burst through Crit. Up to the high ground they go. As they chase out Fly, the Torrent Storm clips him. As the three of them go down, Arteezy this time, the BKB TP will manage to save him. But it's 3 dead on Shopify Rebellion. They can't take these team fights right now.
They can't take anything right now. Even Saberlight, who's a Centaur with 4,000 HP, a plate mail, etc., he dies in seconds. He gets disseminated. All this damage that comes out from the pure damage, he just gets shredded. I mean, Disseminate always does make heroes look a little bit squishier as well, too, but...
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Full MKB now. The timings are there. That Butterfly doesn't feel like it really did too much before anyway. Now the answer is fully there for Yatoro. And Arteezy? Oh, he dead. He's dead.
He's very dead. No BKB, no TP, only a Satanic that might let him live a little longer, but not a lot longer. Caught outside of the base, and that's him gone. No buyback money available for him. He is out for 80. Spirit, they'll look to proceed to the high ground off the back of that one.
They're just playing so damn well. They seem like they just have all the information every single time of where these heroes are hiding. They've found Abed all game, yanking him, shutting down any of his timings, and they just keep finding Artor. 60 seconds, no gyro.
They have got good team fight. They've got good wombo combo, but I don't know if it's enough wombo. They're gonna try. Saberlight, and with a hoof stomp.
The pipe's out. They don't want to go.
The barracks are gone. Spirit, they can absolutely go for more if they want to here. Still 45 seconds, no gyro.
Can he land a 5-man Echo? That's going to be the question.
Step up in, they'll get the Fisher out onto Yatoro. Collapse, he just goes straight back in on the wall. Stable, they have Shidi, but we're doing all this with the jump. It's an instant jump. But the BKB's out for Yatoro. Thunder over towards Mirage. Yatoro's back on the 5 speed. Beats into Saberlight. The Torrents to catch in them all.
That's their big hurrah. That's literally all their ults, and it kind of just tickles. Toro gets the BKB off.
Another set of barracks, and they'll be looking for the mega creeps.
They're looking to close it out.
They certainly are. 17k lead. Team Spirit built this game up perfectly to this point, in which there's just no stopping them.
We'll respect the buyback a little bit here. Meta is gone. All their ults have been expended. Actually, they still have Ravage. We'll back it up.
And no need to take any risks there, Spirit. They know how comfortable of a spot they're in right now. They can close this game up however they want. Potential for Roshan. We see ourselves on the screen. It will be 30 seconds. They can fall back, get the Roche, and then look to push once more.
How long ago has it been since they killed one of those big cores? I think it's been like almost 15 minutes since I've seen one of the tanky cores, either the Yatoro Collapse or the Kunkka. Yeah, it's been quite a long time since they got any of them. They've just found some support kills, really. Yeah, itemization and just the durability of these heroes has definitely proved to be a huge issue for Shopify to get through.
Frustrations from Arteezy. He's got the quad Midas queued up.
Oh boy. Not the quad Rapier? Oh, how upsetting.
This is my shout.
Spirit, they just know how to play versus this. Toro, you know, he has said he doesn't like the gyro.
That's true, he said gyro's a trash hero. And he's certainly looking good in the matchup here today against it.
Radiant's top barracks fall.
That's just been clean. Even though they've gotten 17 kills, that's the thing. It's like Shopify, they've gotten a fair amount of kills. Just that hasn't been on the really big important heroes in these moments. And Abed has had one of the roughest games of the tournament.
I mean, they went all in on him.
They did. Even
They really
5-5, but it's still just like his timings came out so late. His echoes were used on single heroes so many times of how Spirit played it. It's been quite beautiful by them. 19k gold lead, everything at the ready. Shopify looking to catch them off guard, can they?
The hoot stop. They should have followed up. As soon as they can burst through lava, Lars having to get the BKB off. Miriam with the defensive disruption. Yatora stepping over the wall, stabilize. Lars gets the BKB, turns to the boat coming out. BKB then right in time. Ahmed's in with the echo stab onto the two of them. The focus lava, Lyle heals back up. They've lost Fly. They're losing stabilize. The stampede comes to an end. He's caught outside the base. Kalati just charging in on them. Gets him with the anchor smash. Gush as well. Stabilize slowly but surely falling as they've lost Gyro once again. RTG does have buyback, but Stabilize, Fly, they do not. They'll tap out. GG is called. Team Spirit. They'll take the second game of this best of 5. 2-0 right now.
And in the second half of this one, they made it look pretty one-sided. I mean, pretty devastating performance. Laurel in particular, just knowing his strengths. A beautiful game on the Kunk, honestly. I have to give him a lot of commends. The supports